Welcome back to Silent Archives. Today, we're heading to the summer of 1518 to a town called Strasbourg, where a woman walked into the street and started a dance-off. It didn't end in applause. It ended in a massive, involuntary pile of corpses. This is the Dancing Plague, a dark fairy tale that became a literal, heart-stopping nightmare. Forget everything you know about Footloose. This is how a city danced itself to death.
Imagine a blistering July morning in 1518. A woman named Frau Trophia walks into a narrow, cobblestone street in Strasbourg and starts to dance. There is no music, no celebration, no cheering crowd, just a silent, violent, rhythmic jerking of her limbs. She doesn't stop for lunch. She doesn't stop when the sun goes down. Her feet are bruised, then bleeding, then raw, but the boogie won't let her go. This wasn't a performance. It was the start of a literal death rave that would claim hundreds of lives. Welcome to the Dancing Plague of 1518. By the end of the first week, 34 people had joined her. By the end of the month, 400. This wasn't a flash mob. It was a screaming, sweating, involuntary mosh pit where the only prize was a heart attack. The city council was baffled. They consulted the local doctors, who skipped over science and went straight for the vibes. Their diagnosis? Hot blood. They believed the dancers' brains were literally overheating, causing them to lose their minds. And in the 1500s, if your blood was too hot, the remedy was usually bloodletting. But you can't exactly stick a needle in someone hitting a high-speed, frantic medieval jitterbug. So, the city council tried the opposite.
The burning! It spreads!
The humors rage. Hot blood claims them.
They decided the only way to cure the dancers was to help them burn it out. They didn't ban the dance, they sponsored it. They built a massive wooden stage, hired professional musicians, and even brought in strong men to keep the exhausted victims upright so they could keep moving. Rockets? Number 500-pound bombs? Not yet. Just a government-funded rave. It backfired spectacularly. Spectators who came to watch the party accidentally caught the rhythm and joined in, turning the town square into a graveyard. By the height of the summer, the rave was killing up to 15 people every single day.
The music failed. Close the gambling houses. Evict the brothels to Candle.
People were dying of strokes, dehydration, and pure exhaustion in the middle of the street. It looked like a massacre in slow motion. When the music didn't work, the city went full no fun allowed. They realized it wasn't hot blood. It was obviously a curse from the saints. They shut down the gambling houses. They evicted the loose people from the brothels. They even donated a 100-pound candle to the church as a massive apology. But the saints weren't impressed by a candle. The dancing kept hustling. Out of options, the city piled the survivors into wagons and hauled them to a mountain shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus. The cure? The priests gave them red shoes that had been soaked in holy oil. For some reason, likely the sheer psychological relief, the dancers finally stopped. But why did this happen? Modern scientists thought maybe a fungus called ergot got into the bread supply. Ergot has the same chemical properties as LSD. One bite of a sourdough roll, and you're tripping and twitching. It sounds perfect, except ergot usually makes you too sick to move, let alone dance for a month. A famous doctor named Paracelsus showed up 10 years later, and, because it was 1526, he naturally blamed the women. He claimed Frau Trophia started dancing just to avoid doing her laundry. Let's be real. Dancing until your feet are raw is a pretty extreme way to avoid a chore. The real cause? Mass hysteria. Strasbourg in 1518 was a garbage fire of famine and smallpox. The people were so stressed, so broken, that their brains literally snapped. They believed they were cursed, so their bodies made the curse real. This is the moment everybody stopped laughing. Back in 1374, an even bigger outbreak hit Aachen. Thousands of people held hands in giant circles, screaming about visions of demons and drowning in blood, dancing until they collapsed. It proved that when the world gets dark enough, the human mind would rather dance itself to death than face reality.
It may not have been pretty, but when life in 1518 became unbearable, the dance-off was inevitable. Frau Trophia wasn't a rebel. She was a victim of a world pushed past the breaking point. Next time you're stressed at work, just be glad your boss doesn't prescribe more cowbell for burnout. If you want more deep dives into history's darkest secrets, hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, right here on Silent Archives. Stay curious, stay toxic.